You know, I was gonna do that whole "Oh hi Mark" scene, but I was legit too excited to get home and talk about this film because I had the Jack Nicholson Joker face the entire time watching this movie. Welcome back, guys. I finally watched The Disaster Artist, and before I start anything, I'm just gonna say the negative about this film, and that is actually, there's not any negatives about this film. The only thing I could say is that maybe if you haven't seen The Room or you don't know who Tommy Wiseau is, then maybe, just maybe, you probably won't get some of the jokes because a lot of the stuff is referenced from Tommy Wiseau himself or stuff from The Room, like the football, the laugh, the dumb quotes that you get from The Room itself. So you might not get it, but other than that, it's still a pretty funny movie. Now, what I did enjoy about this film and loved about this film is basically everything. The fact that we have both Franco brothers in this film, James and Dave, I feel like they were born to play these roles, especially James Franco, because when he is Tommy Wiseau, he is Tommy Wiseau. Like, there was never a time in the movie where I was like doubting him at all. And if you guys don't even know what this movie is about, it's basically about what led up to making The Room. We learned so much about Craig and how he met Tommy Wiseau, how they became friends and how they moved to LA, and eventually leading up to The Room. But everything that happens in between is so well done. Like, I mean, the very first scene where we meet these two characters is simply amazing. I mean, the fact that James Franco went through this transformation about playing Tommy Wiseau was phenomenal. There's not a whole lot that I can say about James or Dave Franco for that fact, besides the fact that they were perfect for the roles. The crazier thing is that these two are brothers and they are playing best friends in the film, and there are some scenes where they're like bickering, they're mad at each other, and there are some serious moments in this movie that just caught me by surprise, and I was not expecting that. The movie kind of did feel like it had two parts to it, but they were great because of the way they transitioned into each other, because like I said, we learned so much about Tommy and Craig in the first one, and then we transitioned into LA and eventually The Room, which is so well done. And the best part about the film for me itself is kind of the way how it starts and then how The Room is being created. Like, the production of The Room is hilarious, and on top of that, they nail a lot of the scenes in The Room so well. Like, I mean, it felt like I was watching the movie all over again. Like, it made me cringe in most of the scenes that we were watching. And the best thing about the movie is that we get to see what happened behind the scenes. You know, how many takes did it take Tommy to say, you know, I did not hit her. A lot of the time we didn't really know about Craig's involvement in the movie besides Tommy Wiseau because he was a superstar, but there's a whole lot going on in the background because of both Tommy and Craig's personal lives. Outside of the two main characters, I would say the entire cast is just great. I mean, Seth Rogen in this movie is hilarious. We have Josh Hutcherson in this film that doesn't say a whole lot, but whenever the camera pans to his face, I mean, you just lose it. Like, I mean, the entire theater with me lost it whenever the camera would pan to his face. Like, I just thinking about it, like, I mean, he was the perfect Denny for this movie. And then Ari Grainer, like, surprisingly, like, the entire time I was watching the film, I thought that was actually Lisa from The Room. I thought that was her, and I even asked the person next to me, I'm like, is that her? They were like, no, but that's how perfect they were for this role. Like, I actually believed these characters. It was crazy that the cast for this movie was so well thought out for the cast of another movie. Like, it feels like I'm watching The Room all over again, except portrayed by different characters. And there were even some surprise actors in this movie that I didn't know were going to be in The Disaster Artist, and it added even more humor to it because I was not expecting it. You know, for a funny movie, you would think that the serious moments would kind of dissolve some of the comedy, but it actually doesn't. Like, I actually like how they shift from comedy to like very like intense moments, especially with Tommy, because there are a lot of times where he loses his shit, and it's kind of scary because James Franco portrays that so well. And I mean, even like the sex scenes where we see in The Room, there's a lot of things that went on behind the scenes to get to that scene. I mean, it was very uncomfortable and I felt it. But even then, even when the intensity's up and they throw in jokes, we never lose it. Like, it feels like it's always tense whenever we get to those serious moments between James Franco, Dave Franco, and like the production team. It's always there and it's so well done. What I love about this movie is that it tries to answer all those questions that we have while we were watching The Room, because there are so many things that go on in that movie that make no sense, but somehow a lot of people love it, including myself. And even in the film itself, they come up with some of their own theories. They play around with, you know, like what it could all mean, because I mean, if you watch The Room, you have no idea what's going on. You ask yourself, why did that lady say she has breast cancer? You know, what's gonna happen with that? What's the plot of the movie? Like, the entire time we don't know anything, and it's funny to see how the production team actually doesn't know anything about the film, and it's great. And like I said, once we get to see like the finished product of The Room, it's so cringy in a good way, where it's like, oh my god, I'm feeling the same symptoms as to when I was watching The Room, but in a great way. And it's literally like 98% spot on. The only difference is that maybe, you know, they are a little bit off because obviously they're using different sets with different people. But other than that, I mean, it was perfect. Guys, in the end, this movie seriously cracked me up. Like I said, it made me laugh so hard that I felt like I had the Jack Nicholson Joker's face for a long time. And I haven't done that in a while. This is one movie that I definitely want to go see again. Like if I had the chance to go see it right now, I would, because it was that great. The only thing I would say was that maybe if you don't know who Tommy Wiseau is, or you've never seen The Room, then maybe you want to check it out. There are some clips out there on YouTube right now. That way they would understand the jokes, because I feel like, you know, if you don't know who Tommy Wiseau is or The Room, like I keep repeating myself, you might not get some of the jokes. But other than that, even then, I feel like you'll have a good chuckle out of it. I went into this movie to experience something funny. And when you have a room full of people that are cracking up, that is a great experience to share with a lot of people. So with further ado, guys, my rating for this film is going to be a perfect 5 because, like I said, it was a great experience and I can't wait to go watch it all over again. So guys, if you guys are planning on watching The Disaster Artist, have you already seen The Room, or do you know who Tommy Wiseau is? Somebody really asked me, like, is this movie better than Justice League? They're not in the same genre, but yeah, definitely. Also, make sure to watch my Justice League review right here. But if you guys are new to my channel, please make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell. Also, if you guys are interested in watching The Disaster Artist with a friend, make sure to share this review with them so they know what's up. But as always, guys, stay tuned.